Well, in a rather difficult job market, business schools must be committed to providing innovative and integrated approaches to higher education. This trains graduates to succeed in the 21st century workplace. The student body, mostly made up of mature working adults, Region Business Schools decided to provide a variety of programs and tools aimed at ensuring success and ensuring employability. And the head of the School for Management and Commerce, Dr. Shahiem Patel, joins us virtually from here in Johannesburg. Dr. Patel, thank you so much for your time this morning. It does seem that there are far more business schools around at the moment than a few years ago, when most business schools were connected to established and well-known universities. Competition is quite tight, but there seems to be a big market for students who really see these business schools as an opportunity to increase their brand out there and to increase their employability. How does your school approach that competitiveness?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I think the starting point for Region Business School, when we're trying to understand exactly how we fit into the employability discussion within the South African economy, was to understand that the job market is really a bit restrictive in terms of what it can absorb out of the higher education system. And so importantly for us, we try and promote two things. Number one, we try and promote a 4IR focus in terms of 21st century digital skills, which enables our students to operate not only today and tomorrow, but perhaps a lot further into the future. And the second pillar that we try and build our offering on is entrepreneurship. We are very, very, very focused on entrepreneurship. And in that particular respect, we know that our students don't have necessarily an innate understanding of what entrepreneurship is. So that's our one starting point. And then once they understand what entrepreneurship actually is, it's up to us then to actually harness those skills and make them excited about what it means to be an entrepreneur.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does seem there are far more people walking around with MBAs at the moment. And sure, from a developmental point of view, that really is a good thing, because it means that qualification is more accessible. But is it still seen as the be-all and end-all qualification to get in the business world to really give you that edge?
Yeah, I think you're quite right in saying that in terms of numbers, in absolute figures, yes, there has been a marked increase in MBA graduates, and that's probably a consequence of the education system being expanded and opened up post-1994. But I think the flip side of that is, and the positive spin on that, is that the MBA still holds true, not just in South Africa, but perhaps globally, as the golden standard in terms of business and leadership education. I think that because the curricula, and in particular within Region Business School, has kept pace with changes in society and with the expectations of the economy, that still provides the edge. So although there might be a lot more people walking around with an MBA, it's the kind of MBA and the experience that you go through during the MBA journey that perhaps sets one apart and still allows you to leverage and harness the actual power of an MBA.
When established professionals come to you and say, listen, I'm thinking of studying further, you understand that when you decide to take on a course of some kind on top of whatever high-flying executive job that they have to handle at the same time, that they're making a massive commitment. What are these professionals coming to you with? Are they saying they want to see, they want to upskill themselves in certain fields because they are operating in a business that's changing at a rapid pace and they want to keep up? What are some of the things that prospective students are coming to you with as they decide what they want to study when they decide to do so?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. And I think in the past, a lot of people looked at education as a means to an end. So, I'd like to get the next move in my career. I'd like to get a promotion. I'd like to move up the corporate ladder, so to speak. And I think what we're starting to see during the conversation that we have with our students is that there's a shift from that mindset towards something that is a lot more sort of self-progression or self-progressive rather. And people wanting to study purely because they understand that if I develop myself, the benefit or the outcome of that development will be seen and manifested in my career. And we're also seeing, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people coming to us and saying, you know what, actually, I cannot go through this corporate career any longer. I want to be self-employed. I want to be an entrepreneur. And so I need the necessary skills and competencies that would enable me to do so. And so that really is the cornerstone of many of the conversations we've been having with our students. We are very much aligned in terms of our students' expectations. We know that what they're asking for is what we need to deliver upon, and that's what we strive for on a daily basis.
And then just finally, I mean, I'm interested to pick a brain about the job space on an executive level, that if we're dealing with a space where a number of people now have an MBA or a similar qualification, what is it that sets people or business professionals apart at that level? Is it soft skills that's looked at? Is it their people skills that's looked at? What are some of the alternative things that businesses and corporates are looking for when they are headhunting at the highest level?
Yeah, I think that, with the rise of technology, in particular AI, I think a lot of the hard skills that were being promoted as part of a platform in an education experience is almost, or we're heading down the path where those will be potentially replaced, at least to some degree. And so what remains then is the ability for a manager and a leader to do exactly that, to manage and to lead. So to your point, your soft skills become a lot more important. Your 21st century digital skills, are you able to have conversations around digital? Are you able to have conversations around cross-cultural competencies? Are you able to exist in a globalized environment and in a globalized economy? Are you able to adapt to change very quickly? These are probably the biggest competencies and skills that graduates need to have, because it's transversal. It allows you to go irrespective of your industry, irrespective of your role in your organization. If you have a solid grounding in those particular aspects, then I think it sets you up very well, not only to do well in your personal career, but to make actually a difference in society. And that's what we're after in terms of sending our graduates into the market.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for that insight. The head of School for Management and Commerce, Dr. Shahiem Patel, joining us virtually from here in Johannesburg. We thank him for his time. He, of course, with the Regent Business School.